Hi everyone, it's Logan from SWCPO. And this week for our Storytime craft and our Kids Create craft, we're going to be doing the same thing. We'll be making scratch art. So the reason that we're doing the same thing for both groups is because I would love for you to bring this back to the library and help me decorate the children's room. So if you pick up your kit from the library, you will get a piece of cardstock. And when you're making this at home, if you want to cut this in half so that you can keep a piece of it at home and bring a piece of it to the library, that is totally fine. I don't need the entire sheet if you don't want to give it to me. You'll also get some black paint, and you'll get a bamboo skewer and a popsicle stick. And it is up to your parents which one they would prefer that you use when you're making your scratch art. The bamboo skewer will work much better, but it's also a lot sharper. So if they're not comfortable with you using something that sharp, the popsicle stick will work just as well. So what you will want to do at home is get a paintbrush, and it can be a paintbrush like this or just like a watercolor paintbrush. Any kind of paintbrush will work. You'll need some crayons, and you're gonna want maybe like some newspaper or just some old scrap paper, something to put down that you can paint on, or if you have a tablecloth, that will work as well. The paint that we are giving you is washable, but you don't want to take any chances. So you're going to just put your paper on your placemat or whatever you're using, and the first step is to take the crayons and you're just going to get to scribble all over this paper. You want to make sure you have different colors everywhere. So you don't necessarily want to do like lines, like chunks across like that. You want everything to be kind of like a patchwork quilt, because when the paint dries and you go to scratch it, you want to make sure you have all kinds of different colors showing through. So I am just going to do a little bit on mine just to kind of show you what it will look like, and then we will move on to the next step. You're going to color your entire piece of cardstock, and you can use whatever colors you want to, and you don't necessarily need to draw a picture or anything like that, because we're going to paint over this. So you're not going to see the entire thing. And you want to make sure that there aren't a lot of white spots in the middle of your colors, and even if you want to just take a color and kind of fill in some of those, that's totally fine. So here is what part of mine looks like. You just want to make it kind of like a mosaic of color there. So once you have your entire piece of cardstock done, you're going to get your brush and you're going to very lightly paint over this. So the one that I did to kind of practice that I'm going to show you in a little bit, I put too much paint on and it worked, but it makes the paper curl up, as you'll see in a few minutes. I have it sitting under my crayons right now to kind of flatten out a little bit. So you are just going to take your paint and just paint over it. And you don't want to be able to see like very clearly what's underneath of it, but if you see a little bit of color poking through, that's fine. And if you're using paint from home, I would suggest using tempera paint, but if you want to try a different kind, that is up to you. I don't think watercolor would work very well, but if you are feeling adventurous and you want to see what happens, that is totally fine. So I'm just going to finish painting over where I colored before. And you want to make sure you're getting as close to the edges as possible. That's why I suggest that you get something to put under it. All right, so I left a nice white chunk here, but you're not going to want to do that. So there you see I've got it covered. So you're going to just set that off to the side to dry for as long as it takes. And if you're feeling a little antsy and you want to get it done quicker, you can always get a hair dryer and put it on low speed so that it doesn't fly away, and get it dried that way. So once your paint dries, so there you can see mine's curled up. It's not super bad, but there's mine, and I've scratched a little bit already, but I've got it nice and covered. And then I'm gonna just take my bamboo skewer, and you can draw a picture, you can make a shape, whatever you wanna do. If you wanna practice writing your name, that would be pretty cool. And then as you can see probably here, your paint is gonna fly everywhere. So you wanna make sure you're in a spot where you can clean up easily. And then, there you go. That's what it'll look like. And like I said before, we would love for you to drop off part of that to help me decorate the children's room. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with. And I'll see you next time.